After my last video gained some traction, the one about skills you must not learn, so many of you flooded the comment section asking the exact same question. Okay, so if we shouldn't learn those skills, what skills should we learn? Fair question. Everybody is telling you to learn AI, coding, digital marketing, these so-called high-income skills. But when I researched the answer to this question, I discovered something that's gonna make a lot of people very uncomfortable. While the entire world is fighting over learning the same trendy skills, people who are actually getting rich and the ones who are not worrying about AI taking over their job and they never have to worry about bad job markets or any sort of recession, those people are mastering 5 completely different skills that work in any field. And most people will never learn them because they are too simple. Most people are stuck finding the best job and never realize that if you are in the top 1%, top 5%, maybe 10% in any field, you are literally in the best job, as they say. So in this video, we are gonna go over these 5 meta skills which will hopefully enable you to go in that 1% in your field. And these aren't just any other skills. These are skills that are literally worth more than a college degree, and I'm gonna prove that to you in the next few minutes. But before I tell you the exact skills, we need to talk about something more important. How to choose your field in the first place so that you can apply these skills into that field. Because this decision alone will determine if you earn 70k or 700k in an entire year. By the way, if you have already decided your field and you want to skip to the exact skills that I'm going to talk about, you can skip to them directly through timestamps given in the video description. With that being said, let's get started. So if we aren't just following any trendy skills that is trending this month, how do we actually make this decision? How do we actually choose what to do with our lives? Well, I have developed a framework based on my experiences and frankly, a lot of research into what actually works. It is simple, yet insanely powerful. 2 factors, and this is what completely changed my life. So you see, most people optimize for just one thing. Either they chase money and hate their life, or they follow their passions and stay broke. You see, both these approaches are incomplete, and that is why most people end up frustrated whether they end up achieving their dreams or not. You need both these factors working together. Factor 1, genuine interest and curiosity. Now, I'm not talking about passion because passion is too strong of a word. It is usually unsustainable. A lot of research and a lot of books that I've read, I've come to know that passion generally develops after you work hard on something and then, you gain some interest and all that stuff. That is not the point of this video. I'm talking about something that naturally draws you in. Something that feels like play to you and work to others, as Naval Ravikant says. And this is important because reaching the top 1% takes years, sometimes decades. It takes a lot of hard work and grit and patience and all that jazz. And so if you don't have some level of genuine interest, you will definitely burn out before you get there, if you are not David Goggins or something. But if you're enjoying what you're doing, that will prevent your burnout. And a good example of this is in our day-to-day lives. And you can see for yourself, have you ever burnt out while watching your favorite movie or playing your favorite video game? No, right? Factor number 2, financial ceiling. And this is where a lot of people get uncomfortable, but we need to talk about it. We are talking about the top 1% club, right? Top 1% barista makes 70k a year, but a top 1% software engineer makes 200 to 250 to 300k a year. The field you choose sets the ceiling, not how good you get at it. And by all means, I'm not saying money is everything, but money is a lot of things. For me, money is freedom. It gives me options. Money lets you pursue your interests without worrying about your rent. It lets you take care of your family and it helps you invest in yourself and your own growth. So back when I was in mechanical design and stuff, I could make a decent amount of money and I was interested in it, but I could see the ceiling. The highest paid person in the field was making, 150 to 175k in the entire year, even after 20 to 30 years of experience. But in tech, that could be my second year. So my whole spiel is the sweet spot is finding an intersection between these two things. Something that you are genuinely curious about and something that also has a high financial ceiling. This is where the magic happens. Okay, so once you have chosen your field through that framework or any other framework, obviously, how do you actually dominate it? Because being average in any field won't get you anywhere. You need to reach the top 10%, ideally the top 1%, to have real security and freedom. Most people focus on learning the technical skills, and don't get me wrong, they are really important. They serve as the foundation. But people get stuck in the specific tools, the programming language, the framework, the software that they're using, the OS, whatever. And the problem with that approach is all of those things become obsolete. The programming language that you're using right now might be obsolete in the next 5 years. The AI model that you're using right now might be replaced the next month. But meta skills, they are permanent. They are the skills that help you learn these technical skills faster and grow in your career at an exponential rate. Research from over 90 studies shows that these skills are a better better predictor of success than any of those technical skills that you're learning right now. So I've shortlisted 5 of them, and I'm sure that they will work for you, even if you're a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, entrepreneur, you have a business in finance, tech, whosoever you are. So let me break them down for you. Let's get into them. Skill number 1, learning how to learn. This is about developing systems and acquiring knowledge as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And this might be the most important skill of all, because everything else becomes obsolete. As I said, if the programming language that you're learning right now becomes obsolete, you need to be able to learn the new language, the framework, the tool that will evolve faster than everybody else to be in the top 1%. Personally, for me, I am a huge believer in framework, so I have a framework for learning anything new. First, I do what is called terrain mapping, or mapping in general, where I spend some time understanding the overall landscape before diving into the details. If I'm learning a new framework, maybe TensorFlow, I would learn how it fits into the bigger ecosystem. For example, it is used in machine learning, unlike React, which is used for making web applications. On the other hand, if I'm learning .NET, I would know it's used for making web apps and Windows applications and is using C# programming language. All this sort of shallow understanding for a few hours. So if you are learning a new topic, say economics, ask GPT or Google or whatever, ask these LLMs and just research about what this thing is and a list of all the things that you are required to learn in order to be able to gain mastery in that topic. I've realized that just having an index, having a table of contents and a list of things to go on removes all the tension, and I'm at peace because I'm not stressing in the unknown. Then I use what I call the 25% rule. I learn just enough to start doing something, which is about 20 to 25% of what the industry experts already know. Then I learn by doing. I will pick up a new problem or pick up a new project and then fill in the gaps as I go along. Most people try to learn everything and then apply their learnings, and to be honest, I used to be like that. I would feel so uncomfortable starting a new problem or a new project without learning all the things that are to learn in that particular topic. Maybe a programming language, maybe a framework or whatever, but this is where people who just got started with the bare minimum raced ahead of me. I don't do that anymore. More on that sometime later. Finally, I keep a learning log, a sort of a diary or a journal, and after every learning session, I write down 3 things: what I learned, what confused me, and what I want to explore next. This sounds simple, but is incredibly powerful for connecting dots and identifying patterns. And this identifying patterns and connecting dot stuff, this is what real learning is. Skill number 2, complex problem solving. Now, this is where the money is. Anyone can follow a tutorial or follow a standard operating procedure or something, but the people who are getting paid the most are solving problems that nobody in the room can solve. I work as a software engineer. I don't get paid to write a programming language, to write a particular syntax, to give presentations. I do not get paid for any of those things. I get paid for solving problems. That is the bottom line for every knowledge work out there. You solve problems which gives value to somebody else, to an organization or to a person. They give you money. And I have a problem solving framework for you all. Feel free to comment down below how you tackle complex challenges, but this is my framework. First up, I clearly define what the problem is. Earlier, I would be impatient and dive right into the solution without even understanding what the final result is supposed to mean. But I take some time, I make a document, I get it reviewed by my peers, maybe by the tech lead, and once I have an understanding of what it is that we want to make, then I dive into the solution. While forming the solution, I try to break the complex problem into smaller and smaller chunks and tackle them head on one by one. What I've realized is that complex problems are just simple problems bundled together, and if you can just separate them and tackle them one by one, it makes the whole process a lot easier, a lot peaceful, and I can get work done in time and not be overwhelmed and stuff. I also use something called the first principles thinking. I mean, Elon Musk is famous for that, which is basically digging deeper and deeper into a topic and breaking it down to its fundamental level. And actually, LLMs are really good at this. If there's something I don't understand, I would ask, Claude or Grok or whatever to just break my problem statement, which is just 5 to 10 lines of me blabbering to the LLM what the problem is. And I tell the LLM to break that problem down into 20 to 25 smaller and simpler steps. Instantly, everything starts to make sense. But for that, I have to understand the problem and I have to narrate the problem to the LLM, and then it breaks it down. And in case I feel that the simple solutions that the LLM is suggesting are not correct, then I know my understanding of the final product, the end solution, is not correct, and then I go back to the drawing board. But what I want all of you to take away from this is most valuable problem solvers sit at the intersection of 1, 2, 3 different fields. Now, I work in the software engineering field. I can say that people who have knowledge of software engineering concepts and also know the business logic are the ones which hold real value, as opposed to somebody who just knows SWE. So, as you develop this skill by seeking out harder problems and not avoiding them, you are building some sort of pattern recognition that helps you solve the next problem faster, and you are becoming smarter in the eyes of other people. But who wants to look smart? Anyways, we don't care about looking smart, we just care about getting things done, right? On to the next one. Skill number 3, personal brand and distribution, aka content creation. Now, before you skip, listen, and you are gonna thank me later. This isn't about being famous or being an influencer. This is really not about that. It is about being known in your field for something specific, and I learned this the hard way. For years, I was good in what I was doing, but good opportunities were not coming to me. I wasn't getting the best projects, the best offers, because opportunities don't just come to those who work hard. They come from people who know your work, and that is the big difference. So, I started sharing what I was learning, not to build an audience, but to build credibility, to show the world that I did what I did. I would write about problems I'd solved, the frameworks I've developed, and the insights I'd gained from breaking and fixing stuff. Sometimes it was a blog post, well, that is not active now, but some of the things are present on my website, and sometimes I would speak at meetups, and now it is this YouTube channel. And things changed. People started coming to me with opportunity. Recruiters started reaching out to me with better positions as opposed to me reaching out to them. My colleagues started asking me for inputs on their projects, even the senior ones. My boss started seeing me as somebody who could represent the team externally. It felt like a cheat code, just sharing my stuff. And the key here is specificity. Don't try to be known for everything. I did that at the start and I failed miserably. Pick one thing you want to be known for and consistently deliver content in that area. Remember, you do not need to be a guru. You just need to share your journey. But this is the mistake that most people make. Most people think that all of this is self-promotion, and I want you all to flip your mental switch from self-promotion to value creation. You are just sharing what you're learning. You are helping others solve their problems, giving them your inputs, contributing to a conversation in your field, and the brand is building by itself. Trust me guys, this is something that we from Asia or the eastern side of the world struggle with, putting ourselves out there. But you need to sell yourself. You need to start doing that. Selling is not bad, for God's sake. If you do not want to show your face, start writing because it has the lowest barrier of entry. Start with writing blog posts on Medium. If that is too much, start posting on X, formerly Twitter. There's a famous tech Twitter community as well, so people in tech can leverage that community and build their brand and network with recruiters and hiring managers and tech leads and stuff. Just 2 lines of code every single day on what you're breaking, what you're fixing, what your insights are, whatever it is that is on your mind. I can make an X community for all of you guys, and we all can interact and hold ourselves accountable, and my other connections can also join in. Let me know if you want something like that in the comments below. Anyways, moving forward. Skill number 4, deep work and focus. So this is a meta skill which is defined as the ability to focus on cognitively demanding tasks for a longer amount of time without any distraction. And in today's world, this is becoming a superpower. At least for me, it has been. I mean, if somebody asks me, what is it that enables you to do so much and do your day job, you switch your fields, you have, you're writing your newsletter, you're posting on X, you're doing YouTube, and you have a family and stuff, you have upcoming personal stuff. I don't tell them that I'm hardworking or I'm disciplined and stuff. I just tell them that I'm really good at deep work and focus. So this was a term that was coined by Cal Newport, and I've talked about this in my previous videos as well. And he says that we only spend about 23% of our time doing deep work. All of the other time is just fluff. Slack messages, meetings, team pings, and whatever. If you can increase this to even 40%, you are playing in the top tier. So here's how I developed this skill. I started with something called time blocking. Again, I've talked about these in the past. Instead of having a to-do list, obviously I do have a to-do list, but I run my life based on a calendar. So I would schedule the task from the to-do list onto a calendar. Say for example, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm gonna do coding. From 2 to 4 p.m. I'm gonna research or brainstorm my next YouTube video idea, stuff like that. And in that time block, I'm just gonna do that one thing that I said I would do. Nothing else is allowed. No multitasking, because as they say, multitasking is a myth. And obviously it was difficult in the start. Obviously I would check my phone. Obviously I would go and make that coffee twice. Obviously I would, call my mom to just check up on her, to just procrastinate on the work because my mind was just trained for distraction. After repeated practice, I think it becomes second nature to just focus on the work and tune down everything else. And I think environment design also plays a big part in this. I mean, I put my phone on D&D. In fact, I sometimes put it in a different room altogether. I have some, website blockers that are enabled when I'm in my deep work mode. And this might sound extreme, but it is very effective. And the thing is, this skill transfers to everything else. Whether I'm debugging a complex problem, a bug maybe, or researching a video idea, or learning something new, the ability to focus on something that is hard and focus for a long amount of time makes everything easier and faster. Skill number 5, productivity systems. Now, I don't want to make this similar to other BS productivity generic advice. I want to just emphasize on building reliable systems that will help you do something even on days when you don't feel like doing it. Because trust me, if you want to be in the top 1%, you need productivity, you need efficiency, because you want to be able to get more stuff done in the same 24 hours, because we all have the same 24 hours, and if you can get more done than others, then you will race up to the top. And listen carefully, I'm talking about getting more stuff done, not doing more stuff. These are two different things. And this is one lesson I learned the hard way. Initially, I would, depend on motivation and inspiration to strike and then take action. And this resulted in me being very productive on some days and, not so much on the other days. So I built systems, and I have a system to capture all the ideas I want to turn into YouTube videos or my newsletter issues. I have a weekly review process which helps me, review and plan whatever is upcoming next week, so I'm not mumble jumbled when the task comes. I have templates for recurring activities so that I don't have to invent things from the ground up every single time. So the bottom line is, the aim is to automate as much as possible so that I don't have to spend my brain power on doing the same stuff again and again, day in and day out, week after week. And you might have seen how Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg in his initial days would wear the same dress, the same t-shirt or the same jeans every single day, because they did not want this decision fatigue and they could use that brain power in something more productive. So if you want to be in the top 10%, even 5%, you need to have some sort of productivity system in your life. And obviously, something that works for you right now might not work for you 3 months or 1 year down the line. And so these systems can evolve, but you do need some system at any particular stage of your life. So yeah, those are my 5 skills which can hugely impact your life. And the interesting thing about these 5 meta skills is that they all compound over each other. Learning how to learn makes everything faster. Being better at complex problem solving builds your reputation, while having a strong personal brand brings you better problems to solve. And deep work makes your learning and problem solving even more effective. Master these 5 and you can adapt to any change in any field at any time. You won't have to worry about AI taking over your job, or a recession or a bad job market. Alright, so we have covered a lot here. You understand how to choose the right field in the first place, and after you have decided the field, how you can apply these 5 meta skills to grow in that field. But the sad part is that most of the people watching this video will not apply this advice. They will get inspired, they'll feel motivated, and they might even save this video to watch later on YouTube app. But then Monday comes, life happens, and nothing changes. 6 months down the line, they are exactly where they are right now. Do not be that person. I am absolutely sure 90% of the people watching this video are just here for the reward and not here to take action, because taking action is the harder part. So you need to understand that the top 1% is not some exclusive club with some private handshakes and some secrets that they don't want to reveal. It is just people who made better decisions, but more important than that, it is about who took consistent action. Alright? If this video helped you out even a little bit, please hit that like and subscribe. As always, it means a lot. And let me know down in the comments below which of the 5 meta skills resonated the most with you. I always read your comments. I might even make a follow-up video diving deeper into whichever meta skill you guys are most interested in. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.